Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Basem Hanna Podcast. Today I want to talk to you about something that is the most near and dear to me. It's my family, specifically my kids, how we try to make sure that we're raising them properly. This is a really tricky subject for me because my kids are growing up in a completely different lifestyle or life environment than the one that I grew up in. My family and I, and same with Marina's actually, we immigrated to Canada when I was very young. I was 5 years old, and we were we started at the bottom. My parents got whatever jobs they could when as we were growing up, and then eventually they got their professional designations relicensed in Canada. And then went on to be successful professionals. But by the time that happened, we weren't children anymore. So our childhood was predominantly one where we didn't have everything that we wanted. We lived in humble homes, and we got by on a lot more love than anything else. But that environment that I grew up in, I feel like is such an important part of who I am and the drive behind why I want to be successful. And it is a big part of why I believe I am successful. And then now that I have children, I realize that they're growing up in a completely different environment than the one that I grew up in. Their parents, thank God, have more means than my parents did, and to speak frankly, I'm just trying to find a way or trying to ensure that we don't raise brats, to come from money, and to get a lot of the things that you ask for, or to be in the best sports camps and to do extracurriculars after school, and to take the nicest vacations and all that stuff. I think it has an impact on the child because they're not wanting, or there's no need or desire or raging urge to do more or to get better because they have it. A lot of my childhood was spent looking at what I didn't have and wanting it, and trying to figure out creative ways to get it. And I can't raise my kids the same way, not because we just haven't created that environment for them, so it's hard. The perfect example, and the one I want to share, is we recently just took a family vacation. We went to Egypt, which is a third world country, but it has amazing pockets of luxury. And we spent the vast majority of our time in very nice hotels, on the nicest beaches, in the nicest areas of Egypt. And we showed our entire family an incredible and memorable experience. And as a father and as a person who works hard, those are the fruits of my labor. There's nothing more important to me in this world than my family. And for me to be able to shower them with gifts and experiences that I didn't have as a kid, that fills my heart with so much joy that it's worth every penny that we spend on it. But the byproduct of that is that my kids don't know the other side. They only know nice hotels. They only know the best beaches. They only know the best schools or whatever it is. And I'm proud of that as a father, but I am very concerned about what that does in terms of raising a kid with ambition and motivation, and not giving them a sense of entitlement. So how do we deal with that? Well, my wife and I certainly haven't forgotten where we came from, and anytime that our kids fall out of line, we tend to remind them that they need to smarten up and be respectful. We give them chores, and something that we did on this trip, we took a 17-day trip to Egypt. We spent 16 days in pure bliss, and then I took them for one day to feed the homeless. We went with two of my cousins who do this regularly, and like what an amazing service that they provide. And we went, we bought the food, we made the sandwiches, we peeled the fruit, we packaged it, we put it all in cars, and then at 1 a.m. we went out and we were looking for people that were sleeping on the street, and we were handing out these care packages of food. I can't tell you how much of an amazing experience that was for me but more importantly, my children, watching them interact and understand that there are completely different sides of the world, and they are fortunate to not have to see the poverty side as much. It was so heartwarming and it was such a special experience for us as a family. When they first started, they're like, I don't know if we want to do this, and we want to go back to the pool, all this. By the end of the experience, they're like, Dad, we need to go back and we need to go make like 5,000 more of these meals. We need to we have to get more money to try to help them, like to make more of these packages. And they really built a connection with the people that they were serving. I can tell you with a high degree of certainty that out of all of the experiences that we had in Egypt, which were amazing, we saw the pyramids, we saw the beautiful beaches, and I highly recommend going to Egypt for anybody that hasn't gone there. The best experience that we had as a family was doing that act of service that we did, and what it helped teach my children, and what I could see in their eyes as they were doing this, was they realized the benefit and the privilege of what they have. And after the fact, we went and we had a conversation as a family, and we explained to them that, not everybody lives the life that we live, and we need to feel very fortunate for what we have. And most importantly, we need to always remember that we live a life of service, and that we have to go and seek out the people that need our help and help them. So that is kind of what our strategy has been to date. To be honest, Marina and I aren't sure that we're doing it right. I like most parents, we always kind of feel like we're doing it a little wrong, but it gives us a lot of comfort to know that we're at least showing our kids both sides of the experience, and to watch the innocence of a child and the purity of their heart as they go and complete this service. It definitely renews my desire to want to continue to do good things and good works, and it makes me fortunate that we have what we have, and to try to share it more. I know this was a very different episode of the podcast, but it doesn't always have to be about success and how to achieve it. Sometimes it's nice to reflect on what you have and to be grateful. I hope that helped. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of this podcast, and we'll see you next time.